we've definitely had a little bit of a history with the Raptors and Bleacher Report. We often feel like when we see Bleacher Report articles, the Raptors are not given their respect, or at least maybe in the case of what we're going to be talking about today, they are not reflected very accurately. So we'll see how this one shakes out. I found this article, which I thought was going to be really interesting to discuss in the stream today. It's titled, "Every NBA Team's Biggest Problem Right Now." Let's go through every NBA team's biggest problem right now. And then when we get to the Raptors, let's focus a little bit more on if it actually is the biggest problem for the Raptors right now, or if it's actually something else. So for starters, I kind of feel like the biggest problem, like what is the biggest problem for the Raptors going to be? It kind of the easy answer will be like the offensive fit. The easy answer, I mean, I think there's three answers it could be, at least should be. There is the offensive fit, but that hasn't been the case this season, so maybe not that. It could be the play of Immanuel Quickley, who has been poor this season, and it could be like Jakob Poeltl's play, honestly, or like just rim protection in general. But there's three things that I think it could be mentioned in this article. So let's dig into it here. We're going to zoom through the rest of the teams. No answer on Trae Young's fit. I mean, I don't know about that. I feel like Trae Young is kind of driving this team. Trae Young's injured right now, but I don't know. I think Trae Young's a terrific player. If he becomes available, I'd love to take a stab at him with the Raptors. Celtics, defensive rebounding. I mean, they don't have any good bigs, so that's part of it. Looking next, Igor Dem's 2-point allergy. Yeah, he's very raw and not that good right now. Bleacher Report was just rage bait, when everyone says, we'll see. We'll see. Charlotte Hornets, no disruption. Yeah. Not a good defense. Chicago Bulls, fool's gold. I mean, they played really well, but apparently it's a bit lucky. I don't know. That's an interesting one. Cleveland, no Darius Garland. Well, he's hurt, so I guess that is a bit of a problem. Dallas, Ross construction. Yes, no guards, except D'Angelo Russell, who cooked us. But yes, no guards. The guards suck. Cam Johnson's fit. It should have been seamless, to be honest, but I guess they haven't gotten him super involved out the gate to start the season. Trip and secondary creation. Golden State complacency. Yeah, I can see that. Houston, the most predictable one. Yeah, I guess the guards have been a problem, and Reed Shepherd has been awful in every game he's played for them. Indiana's health. Clippers turnovers. Austin Reeves' skyrocketing price. Good problem to have, but yeah. The discontent with the Grizzlies. Yeah, it's a pretty good list so far. Clear consistency. I mean, playtime has been inconsistent for him too, to be fair. Only Giannis shoots free throws. Yeah, actually, I noticed that in the game the Raptors played. Only Giannis was getting to the line. Nobody else can force the other team for fouls. Gobert, a little bit. Extremes, okay. Pelicans, terrible planning. Yes. Knicks, depth. Yes. Thunder, threes. Well, it's, I guess, their biggest problem, but it shouldn't be too big of a problem for them as we saw last year. Orlando Magic offense. Desmond Bane has kind of struggled. 76ers, Maxi's minutes. A lot of minutes per game. Ooh, wonder why. Phoenix, no point guards. Do we just roster construction as a whole for Phoenix? Portland shooting. They've been pretty good, but I could see that. Sacramento, no forwards. I mean, I guess DeRozan's there, but I guess they have no defensive forwards. So I guess it can be a bit of a problem. San Antonio guard depth. Are we at Toronto on the list? Yes, we're at Toronto on the list. So let's see where we are at with Toronto. And it is Immanuel Quickley's slow start. Let's see for Utah and Washington. Utah, too many wins because they're tanking. That's funny. Washington free throw disparity. All right, let's zero in on the Raptors then. So it's written here, Toronto Raptors, Immanuel Quickley's slow start is their biggest problem to start the season. Okay, I kind of saw that one coming to a certain extent. It says, Scotty Barnes, Brandon, RJ Barrett are all cooking to start the season, combining to haul the Raptors' offense into the league's top half through the first 7 games. And actually, we've played another game since then. The Raptors, I believe, are a top 5 half-court offense in the NBA after their most recent game. Depending on if you watch this before or after the Atlanta Hawks game. This is we're saying this before the Hawks game. It's a good thing that those three are all hitting over half their shots from the field and taking on heavy collective load, because Immanuel Quickley is stumbling out the gate. Quickley is shooting under 40% from the field, under 30% from three, and amassed a minus 25 in his first 220 minutes of court time. That is not very good. Raptors point guard had more to prove than anyone on the roster but Ingram, who didn't even suit up for Toronto last season. Head coach Darko Rakovic hasn't lost faith in the point guard, but Quickley will need to find his footing soon. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it certainly is a problem. I think, like, as much as I've been concerned about this, and I've talked about it on some shows, and I've been like, hey, I wouldn't mind getting off that contract and trading him and upgrading for a guy like Ja Morant, like that seems like pretty okay to me. As much as I kind of feel that way about Immanuel Quickley, I also still have belief like he can't continue to be this bad. He'll start to hit his shots. He'll start to improve, at least from a floor spacing standpoint. His role has kind of changed right now, but also Ingram, Barnes, and Barrett aren't going to sustain this level of play. Like surely they can't, right? Like they can't sustain this level of play throughout the rest of the season. So eventually Immanuel Quickley should come more back into the fold for the Raptors from offense. This actually reminds me, I saved this from Twitter, and I was going to reference it anyway, but actually this is good to kind of combine into this segment here on the show. I have an article pulled up from Sportsnet that I originally saw on Twitter from Michael Grange, who is Sportsnet's Raptors beat reporter, I think is the correct way to describe him. And it talks about his slow start, but it talks about specifically how, like, Immanuel Quickley isn't worried about it. And also it talks about how Darko Rakovic isn't worried about it. I'll read what was said here. There is no panic here at all. I mean, from the coach, you want to see no panic, but Raptors head coach Darko Rakovic said, first of all, there is no magic wand. He's not playing his best basketball right now, and that's fine. That's fine. That's why he has teammates to help him, and everyone can carry it over. And not everyone can carry it over an 82-game-long season and be perfect. All I need to do is take one day at a time, 1%, get better. What I can tell you is that he's putting in a lot of work, a lot of effort in. Okay, so like Darko Rakovic, at least on the outside, isn't worried about it, which is the right thing to be. Maybe he's not worried about it on the inside as well, but at least on the outside needs to kind of not be a PR disaster in everything that he does. Like saying the Raptors didn't practice for 10 days straight because of the Blue Jays. Like, this guy's an absolute PR nightmare for this team. But, like, a good PR representation there for Darko. But let's see what Quickley has to say about this. So, Immanuel Quickley said, I try not to look at it as a rough patch. Everyone thinks it's a rough patch. Well, I'll keep reading, but I mean, just off that, it kind of, I think you should see it as a rough patch. Like, you need to be better. He says it's all in how you look at it. Perspective. Life could be a lot worse. I mean, yeah, it could be worse. You could have missed every shot you've taken this season. There's things that could be going wrong personally, God forbid. Like, it could be worse, but also it's okay to acknowledge you're not playing well and you're looking to get better. I just continue to come in every single day being present. How can I get better when I'm in a workout, or how can I get better when I'm watching film? And then in the season, I know I'm going to be fine. The work I put in, the trust I have in God, I believe. Okay, well, I know I just said God forbid, but let's leave the Lord aside. He's got to be doing the work. He's the one who's got to be making the shots at the end of the day. And this season, he has not really been doing that. I think it's okay. Like, the coach, you don't want to put the player down most of the time. Some guys, like, it's better to fire them up. Some guys, it's better not. I'm okay with Darko saying, like, you know, we're not worried about it. We know who we got, who we have here. We know what he is. We know he's going to be better. Start making shots. All that is fine. But I think the player needs to take a little bit of, not responsibility, but at least acknowledge it a little bit and say, yeah, I haven't been playing very well this season, and I'm putting into work to change that type of thing. So I'm out of, I guess the response was fine. I'm nitpicking, but I don't love the response that we got out of Immanuel Quickley. Like this season, averaging 13 points per game. He's shooting 38% from the field. He's shooting 28% from three. It's been pretty bad from Quickley. And I think it's okay to say it's not been very good from myself. So, is it Toronto's biggest problem right now? it's tough to, like, when you're saying this on the back of a 3-game win streak, it's tough to really identify a problem for the Raptors because the offense has been cooking, like, in these last few games. And I think that's been one of the strong suits. So it really hasn't been their biggest problem, I'd say, that Immanuel Quickley isn't playing well. I would say, I mean, for the most part, like, start the season, they're 4-4. Let's assess it from a full season standpoint, right? The Raptors are 4-4. They've won 3 games. They've won 4 games off the back of really good offense. And in the end, they've been putting up points this season. Like, we look at the results this season. They've been putting up points. Like, they lost to Houston, scoring 121. They lost to Dallas, scoring 129. Lost to Milwaukee, scoring 116. I would say, like, the offense has still been pretty fine. The Raptors' offense is rated pretty well to start the season. Like, I'll pull up as well the team advanced stats this season, and we can see where they're ranked offensively, which is they might be a top 10 offense in the NBA right now. Yeah, they're a 7th in offensive rating. Like I said it earlier, I think, that I believe they're top 5 in half-court offensive rating, which is crazy. I think, like, last year I saw they were 29th in the NBA at this time. So offense hasn't been a struggle because I know those guys are going to cool off, but the biggest problem has not been that. The biggest problem has probably been their defense. The Raptors are, let's see where they are in defense. Oh, they're up to, like, middle of the pack-ish as we celebrate new sub. MLG Beavis, I think it said. Thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome to the Amateur Hour Army. We're 17th in defense right now. To be honest, like, when we've been losing games, it's been more because of the defense. And a lot of that has been the rim protection. And I think that the bigger concern, it's tough to really label this for an article, I suppose. But I think the bigger concern I have, because at least I have some belief from this belief from my perspective that Immanuel Quickley is going to improve and is going to get better. How much better, I don't know, but, like, enough that he's, like, hitting some threes and spacing the floor a little bit more. My bigger concern is the lack of rim protection depth. If Pirtle's not playing at 100%, which he looked better in his last game in his return from injury, or if Pirtle's out injured, like, the Raptors just take such a plummet defensively. Win percentage with and without Pirtle, there's like a 20% swing. We looked at it a few streams ago. There's like a 42% win percentage with Pirtle since we traded to get him back, and a 22% win percentage without Pirtle since we traded to get him back from the Spurs. So, yeah, it feels like to me the bigger concern, what I'm more worried about, what I think is going to have a bigger impact on potentially derailing the season is the lack of backup rim protection and the just lack of rim protectors in general. This one isn't as concerning to me as the biggest problem, but it certainly is a big problem. And I think for, like, the article perspective, the way they wanted to frame it, maybe this was the best way to do that.